And welcome back to another edition of I Draw a Pokemon in 10 minutes. So last time I drew Pokemon in 10 minutes, you guys seemed to like it pretty well. So I'm doing it again because if you guys like it and it's fun for me, why would I not continue to do it, right? In case you haven't seen the last video, I got a random Pokemon generator pulled up here on my computer. And I'm just going to hit the generate button, and if it's a Pokemon that I haven't already drawn in 10 minutes, I'll draw it in 10 minutes. So, without further ado, let's see what our first Pokemon's gonna be. Pincurchin? I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, sure, why not, I guess. I'll draw it in 10 minutes, we'll see what we can do. Oh, and I almost forgot to add. I found this... Okay, Malcolm, you can get in my lap. Gosh, this cat is so freaking needy, dude.
I love your father.
Alright, so I found this mysterious Japanese yet made in China marker that I found hidden in just like a drawer in my house somewhere. I have no idea where this came from. I have no idea how I got it. I have no idea how it's going to look when I write with it, or in this case, draw with it. So, out of these three Pokemon, I want to try to find a good one to use that on. I'm hoping it looks like a manga, but yeah, anyway, here we go. Pincurchin. Classic Pincurchin. You know, my favorite thing about Pincurchin is... Well, I'll be honest, I really know next to nothing about this Pokemon. I know it's an electric type, and I've never used it, but it does have a very basic design, which I'm pretty grateful for. Like I said, it's gonna get me warmed up for what's to come, hopefully, for the rest of this video. Oh man, apparently my screen timed out, so I'm just going to have to fix that real quick. Don't worry, I paused the timer. All right, resume. So it's really only like 2 colors, 3 if you really want to count the gray at the tips of the spikes. So, I mean, it's mostly just going to be coloring this guy in the best I can. Hopefully not outside the lines. Oh, damn it. Okay, I colored outside the lines a little bit, but whatever, you know, it's fine. So this Pokemon obviously wasn't super difficult for me to draw. It was really just a coloring thing. I didn't want to draw a background necessarily, because when I tried to draw a background for Litwick, which is arguably even more simple than this one, I didn't have enough time to finish it, so it ended up looking incomplete even though I finished Litwick. But after getting this thing completely colored in and shaded, and as you can see, I'm also adding a bit of a shadow. I really didn't have much of a choice, so I decided to go in and just do a little bit of a background with some outlines and a little bit of shading here and there. At first I just drew like a flat ground, and then I was like, maybe add some like rocks or some bubbles or something to show that it's underground, but I didn't color any of it in. I think it ended up looking all right. All right, well, time to see what our next Pokemon's gonna be. Here we go. Ooh, Houndour. I love me some doggo Pokemon, and this one is a really good one. One of my favorites. I'm really excited for it. Should I break this guy out? I don't know. Next up, we have Houndour. I actually really like Houndour a lot. I'm a big fan of pretty much any dog Pokemon, so I was really excited to see this. I really hope I ended up doing it some justice. I already messed up the face a little bit, as you might be able to tell, but hopefully I can get it fixed. One of the things that really irks me about this, and apparently the camera's cutting this off a little bit, but I barely left enough room to get the feet in there. You'll see in the final picture, but like his feet are just at the very edge of the paper, and I really need to get better with my spatial awareness while I'm drawing. I didn't want to go with the solid black for the dark part of the fur because I wanted to add some shading if I could, because Houndour, he's more complicated than Pincurchin, but he's still a relatively simple design, so I wanted to go ahead and get my basic flat colors in there with the dark gray and then like the scarlet orange. And instead of leaving the light gray parts white, I wanted to color those in with a lighter gray. However, they looked almost the exact same shade as the dark gray, so I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do here? I added a little bit of shading here and there, and then I tried to do some cross-hatching to make the dark parts look a little darker, but then it looked weird when I didn't apply it all over the place, so I ended up going for like a black marker that was running out of ink, so I had to switch that up and just try to add more dark gray to it to see if that can make it look any any better. Again, my goal here was to really just make the dark gray part look different than the light gray parts. I ended up just scribbling a little bit with a Sharpie, hoping that that could help fix it. And yeah, that's it. This is what my Houndour looked like by the end of it. Not bad, could have looked better, but I'm satisfied. If not mildly disappointed. Let's see what the third and final Pokemon I'm going to be drawing in 10 minutes is going to be. Donphan! These are some pretty good ones. Honestly, the first one's the weakest. And I don't mean like weakest as in it's a weak Pokemon. I mean, I probably was least excited to draw. All right, time to break out this mystery box of markers for Donphan. I figured he would kind of be like a cool one to try these out on, especially if this does end up looking like a manga. I did not expect that box to be full of a bunch of different kinds of the same marker. That honestly really took me by surprise. Again, I have no idea where this marker came from. I don't know if I bought it or if it was given to me or what, but I just found it in a drawer and it's been unopened for probably years at this point, so I was kind of excited to see what was in there. I'm not sketching any of these out beforehand, so if I make a mistake on this, you know, it is what it is. But I start off by drawing the outline of Donphan, obviously. I'm trying to make this look as good as possible. I wanted it to be kind of like an action pose in a way, so I'm making all this up as I go along. I didn't really have an exact idea of what I was going to be drawing him doing when I started, which I probably should have, but I kind of knew I wanted him to be charging. I maybe should have drew him rolling up into a ball. That might have been a little bit more fitting for the Pokemon, but whatever, he's going to be running, okay? That's just is what it is. I decided to make this little shadow below him. I'm going to make it look like an action shot, like I said, so the lines are going to try to convey as much action as possible. I'm doing this shading technique where I'm basically just scribbling, but I'm doing it in a way to show more motion. So not all the shading lines are facing the same way, as you can kind of see here. Then I'll add a little bit of the darker shading to show some shadows, a little bit of action lines behind him, some rocks on the ground, with some darker shadows on the ground below him to kind of separate him from the background a little bit more. And with only 2 minutes left, I'm really just trying to do some final touches. I decided to go in and do a little bit of cross-hatching just to kind of, you know, make them a little bit more realistic. Really light scribbles on the light gray parts of them. And yeah, I think it ended up looking pretty solid if I do say so myself. Gotta darken these parts up a little bit and that's it. I really like these markers. I think it did end up looking a bit manga-ish if I could make up a word. So I'm pretty happy with it. This was honestly my favorite one out of the three. Pincurchin, Houndour, and Donphan in 10 minutes. What did you guys think? Which one was your favorite? How do you think this marker ended up looking? Leave a comment or a like or something. Feel free to share the video. I'm excited to do this again at some point in the future. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I need to think of like an outro catchphrase. I feel like so many YouTubers have an outro catchphrase. I don't really have one. Don't forget to wipe. No, that can't be it.